Everybody, thank you for joining our webinar today. This is called the Bells and Whistles webinar, and this is all about our May release, May 2024 release. For those of you that missed our webinar that was meant to be live yesterday, a little apology from me. We were there, we were ready, we were waving, we were looking forward to seeing everyone. Sadly, the technology let us down. It was a glitch between StreamYard and LinkedIn. But today we're going to be recording this on trusted, tried and tested platform that we know and love. So we're going to make a lovely video for you today, and then you can watch it back at your own time. So I'm joined today, obviously I'm Simon, I think you know me already. I'm joined today by Martin. Martin, say hi.
Hello.
Hello. I'm joined by Imogen. Imogen, say hi. With that nice wave. Hi, Imogen. And of course, last but not least, Maria. Say hi, Maria.
Hi.
Hi. So we're all in different parts of the world, but we look like we're right next to each other. Not really, but there we are. Good, good, good. Okay, look, it's been a fantastic year for us. We've been very, very busy. There's been a lot going on. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have a little chat with my good friend Martin, just to talk a little bit more about what have we released in May, Martin. What's the big hot topic that we've come up with?
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Thank you, and hello everyone again. So we had a few things that we really released, like a few amazing things, but one was really huge, and that was the new planning extension that we have released. And basically, that was coming back to the I would say questions and requirements from the customers coming and asking us to maybe automate certain planning tasks, because Infinity has been used for planning basically forever. So it's every customer that has been using Infinity has been using it somehow for some sort of planning, whether it's like financial planning, sales planning, logistics and so on. And there were certain tasks which were possible, but were not that simple to create. So we decided to automate these tasks, and we launched a new planning extension that actually makes it easier for the people. And I mean specifically top-down and bottom-up planning, which is super relevant for any manager, basically, who has to set up some target and then break the target down to details, or consolidate some data from some row level planning to some aggregated values. And obviously, you have a few challenges to do that. Obviously, you have to create hierarchies. So we actually allow people to create hierarchies right in Qlik. And that's the beauty of the of the extension. So you don't have to have any third-party console, anything that you would have to create somewhere else in some other tool and then go to Qlik and somehow apply it. You can actually create everything in Qlik.
So for the audience that are watching, Martin, the screen behind you actually shows the planning application that we developed some time ago, but Maria is going to take that like to the next level in the demo part afterwards. So stay tuned, everyone, because Maria's going to give a really nice demo of the planning app, the changes we've made, and the new extension as well. Excellent. Thank you, Martin. Now, the next big thing for us, and Imogen was absolute rock star leading up to this. So, Imogen, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for what you did. You did an amazing job for Qlik Connect. So, for everyone, we went to Qlik Connect. We were Ruby sponsors at this year's event. It was amazing. Imogen, just a very quick word from you. Just tell us from your point of view what you thought, and then I'll ask Martin what he thought. What did you think? And there you go, you're unmuted.
It was probably the best event I've ever been to, and it was so nice to meet our partners, our customers face to face. And I think the most important thing was it felt like a really nice community of people that are really important in all of our lives, actually, and that we talk to on a regular basis. And to see them and to play ping pong and just socialize with them, it was just amazing. It was a great event.
It was. And just to say a word about ping pong, talk about people going above and beyond, folks. The event started for us on the Monday. On the Friday, Imogen got a phone call from the company. She'd booked a ping pong table to be delivered to the event. That company went bankrupt the Friday before the event. That did not faze Imogen one bit. She grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and we took off to the nearest sports store and we bought ping pong to make it happen at Qlik Connect. Well done, Imogen. And that's what you get for not quitting, absolutely brilliant. So Martin, what did you think of Qlik Connect? How did that go for you? Not that we
Yeah.
saw much of you. You were too busy speaking to famous people. But how did that go for you?
Yeah, I was really excited about Qlik's announcements that we could hear actually at the general session, which was very cool. Obviously, everything was about AI, so AI has been here, and the beauty of that is that actually it's becoming or it's getting beyond the hype cycle, beyond the hype curve, right? So basically, we're getting to the position where it's getting real, right? And that's also Qlik's strategy with the Qlik answers. And I would also say this Qlik QDI and talent integration, aiming towards building more trust in data, maybe AI ready data, and obviously this strategic partnership with AWS, that was also something which I really appreciate, and it actually shows that cloud being an exponential technology, obviously, so Qlik is pushing heavily towards this direction.
Yeah.
And Infinity can link very much with and align with this strategy, and it's very much aligned with this strategy because obviously, if you have AI, you need people, right? So AI is just a tool for us, for people. It will not replace us anytime soon. It is here as a tool, right? As any other tools. So if you take it practically, and as such, it can do some calculations for you through some machine learning or some document AI extracting some information, for example, and so on. But in the end, you need some approvals, so you have to approve the next step. You have to trigger the task. You have to modify perhaps the results of AI because obviously the accuracy of generative AI is somewhere about 70-75%. So you need to be really ready and provide these interaction capabilities right in Qlik. And that's how Infinity links with Qlik strategies. So looking at data integration, data analytics, and action, basically we fit nicely in this action box, right?
Definitely. Yeah. It was interesting. I saw a video yesterday on YouTube, which was talking about a data set about the Olympics. We're in an Olympic year, and they took a data set about the Olympics and they got Chat GPT to analyze the data. And then they got a very good data analyst to analyze the data. And it was fascinating. Chat GPT was fast, but actually very inaccurate because Chat GPT didn't understand the context. Things like the USA boycotted the 1980 Olympics, the fact that the Olympics split between winter and summer Olympics, it missed these nuances. And as a result, the actual results were wrong. When you actually asked it certain things, it was giving you incorrect answers. Now, sure, you can train these things into the model, but as of now, the sort of outcome of that was ChatGPT and these kind of technologies can help you complement and maybe speed up some elements of data analysis, but it's not yet going to replace us anytime soon. And I thought that was really encouraging, but also very interesting. We've got some nice tools to help us, but not replace us. And I think that's really good. So
yeah, and
good.
then you have trust in data, right? Because
You do. Yeah.
because if you look at currently how data quality is done in companies, it's basically largely dependent on Excel spreadsheets or any other forms of spreadsheets, right? So there's a huge space to help these people with something more governed. Again, a space for Infinity to make sure that we help people gain trust in data, right? And being in cloud, obviously, definitely we're cloud native, so that also links with Qlik's strategy very much. So you can just come, log in, and that's it, right? So no other installation, something somewhere, right? So you just get it right in the cloud. So yeah, it was amazing, and I think we're pretty much aligned with where Qlik is heading.
Perfect. No, really good. From my point of view, Qlik Connect was definitely, Imogen, you're right, the best event I think we've ever done. The number of people that came to the stand and stayed and stayed and stayed was just incredible. We had some really good conversations, and that has been brilliant because it's led to some fantastic follow-on conversations with customers. And if you're watching, thank you very much, guys. Lovely to speak to you since Qlik Connect, and we look forward to working with you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bit of a deep dive about the planning solution and the extension that we released in May. We did present this at Qlik Connect. So what I'm going to do is spend a couple of minutes showcasing just some slides. And then Maria, I'll hand over to you and you can give everyone a demo. Let's be honest, that's the bit everyone wants to see. So no pressure. Good. So let me share my screen with everyone and share my screen. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to move that window out of the way. There we go. So let's start with a little bit about who is Inphinity. You know what, guys, you know all of this stuff. We're basically a specialist software company. We only work on Qlik, and we are delighted to be building our customer and partner network as we speak. So, oops, let me just make this go forwards. There we are. So what do we do? Well, there is a number of different technologies, but primarily we use Infinity Forms for things like data entry or planning. Of course, that's where we're going to spend most of our time today. You can also use Infinity Flow, which is one of our other products, to create things like process maps, do visual data flow analysis. You can also build organizational charts. You can do data lineage. It's a fantastic technology for really seeing how data moves from place to place and how you can actually influence that data. And then, excuse me, with our Infinity Mold product, we can analyze text. So you can look at things like Word documents or PDFs or even emails, and you can extract the data, extract the words from those documents, put them into Qlik Sense, and then perform some very nice analysis. It also includes an optical character recognition engine. So if you're looking at an image of text and it can convert it into digital text, it will do that for you as well. So what can you use Infinity Forms to do? Well, we did some work on this. I think I mentioned this perhaps in the last Bells and Whistles webinar we did as well, where you can essentially group these types of activities into 4. Write back, which is really where you're complementing the data that you've pulled into Qlik Sense, sorry. You could also build something brand new with a form. You don't have to have data to start with. You could build a brand new form. It could be a survey, it could be a questionnaire, something like that, and you can enter the data into Qlik Sense and then save it. Planning is a huge topic for us, as we're talking about that a lot today. I would say 4/5 of all the conversations we have with customers right now are about planning, something to do with budgeting, forecasting, demand planning, some kind of advanced planning. All of these things are things that our customers are looking to do. You can go crazy if you really want to, and you can completely transform some processes where you can develop systems that let you enter data, transactional based systems for multiple users with multiple volumes of data. Okay, so you could do something like that. Or at the other end of the spectrum, if you're into Qlik administration, you can automate a number of these. We commonly call that development ops or DevOps. So things like section access management or reload task chaining, you can replace spreadsheets, and you can do that with Infinity instead. In fact, to talk a little bit about spreadsheets, that is such a popular thing to do. Where you've got spreadsheets to capture data, to load that into Qlik, you can just replace those spreadsheets with Infinity inside Qlik Sense. So you can change the data where the data is inside your BI tool. So why do planning? Let's concentrate on this now. So why do planning in Qlik? Well, first things first, navigating multiple spreadsheets, and often planning is performed with spreadsheets, it can be a nightmare. Lots of files, manual input, lots of versions of the same data, and making sure that people don't change your template into something different is often a huge headache. The status and the quality of data can be actually quite poor. You can end up with lots of different things. I experienced that myself at Qlik when we were trying to capture data from different members of the team. It was often a nightmare. And then if you look at dedicated planning apps, they're often rigid, they're quite difficult to use, they direct you down a particular pathway. And to be fair, they're not cheap, right? They're quite expensive. So, and also, as it says here, they often lack strong analytics as well. So how can we help? How can Infinity help you? Well, we've got purpose-built planning tools. The one that you see in the screenshot, Maria will show you more about in just a moment. But we've got some really nice features like aggregation and distribution of numbers. We've got multi-level hierarchy support, multi-user data entry and collaboration. And for example, you can compare budgets or forecasts side by side very easily in Qlik. The beauty of all of that is flexibility. That's the key. You can develop your planning tool exactly the way that you want, to do exactly what you want. And that's the real key here. So what are the benefits? Well, we like to think that this will help you speed up planning. You can do it much faster. It will help you create trust and transparency because everyone will be able to believe in the data because it's coming from their source, it's coming from Qlik. It makes it much easier to trust than spreadsheets. You can then combine planning and analytics together, and that is so powerful. The need and the ability to do that is a really strong, compelling case. And then hopefully you can lower your costs and reduce your complexity. So there's some typical planning use cases, but rather than me talk about these, what I'm going to do now is hand over to Maria. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Maria. I'm going to hand over to you if that's all right. So over to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Please confirm whether you can see my screen.
Yep, that looks fantastic. Yes.
Okay, so you know what it is, but in case some of people watching the video don't know, this is our available online demo portal. We call it Infinity Universe, and you can find here about 30 demo applications showing Infinity in Qlik sense for many different use cases. Obviously, one of them is planning and forecasting. Let me find my mouse. Okay, it's here. So sales planning and forecasting. I'll open my application. You can do the same when you are logged in Infinity Universe. If you don't have a user, there is this button request access in the header. Feel free to click on it and we will grant you access. So on the very first sheet of the demo application, there is no Infinity form. But what you can see here is what Simon mentioned. It's Infinity Flow object that gives introduction to end users about what they can find in the application and how it can be used. So it's also the flow of my demo presentation, because we will go through different stages of planning and how Infinity can cover them inside your Qlik sense. As Simon mentioned, flexibility is a very important thing to mention and highlight. So this demo application contains different approaches, different form types for different stages in planning, but it's totally up to you what you need to do to cover your own internal processes. So you can combine it however you need. So let me start with budgeting and the straight table approach. On this very first sheet, you can see two different editable tables in Qlik sense. What's important to mention is that the way how we develop our extensions, our products, is to be Qlik native. Qlik native for end users, so it literally looks like a Qlik table with editable fields. Qlik native for developers, because when you work with it, you use properties panel, and you can utilize all the Qlik options you know, like set analysis, variables, and things like that. And it's also Qlik native for administrators, because you use Qlik application with Infinity forms to manage Infinity objects. So here in this first form on my sheet, I can define and modify targets for a company. Let's say I want to update Q1 target to a bit more, bit nicer. Note that when I save the data, also the bar chart was updated. Let me do it again.
And Maria, just to say something here,
Yeah,
you're not reloading the app, right? You
exactly.
just hit save, and the Qlik bar chart, and if I'm not mistaken, the KPI above it changed, yeah?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I'll let you explain, because that's clever. I love that.
Yeah. That's the beauty of Infinity. You don't need to reload the application to see your manual inputs and your manual updates. Whenever I hit the save button, data is saved, obviously, directly to a data storage. It becomes available to all other users working with the application at the same time. And as you saw already, it can also refreshes objects on your sheet. We don't need to go to technical details, because there are other content explaining that, Tech Tuesday videos. And we can discuss that with those who are interested in, but it's called the server-side extension function. So it's something like live refresh of data of Qlik native objects working with our manual input. Also, as you may not notice because we were focused on the bar chart, the difference and target total is updated as I'm changing my data. So this is the way how you can simulate different scenarios, even without saving the data at all. So this is just on my screen. No one sees these updates. And when I say, okay, this is what I want to save for others to see, I click Save button and data is saved. And all the rest of the sheet is updated. As you can see, there are different field types. Actually, in Infinity Forms, you can find even more field types if you need to use. We don't need to go through all of them on this webinar, but let me very quickly show you how easy it is to add a new editable field in this object. So as I mentioned, it's Qlik native for developers. So I just go to edit mode, form configuration section. And here is a button, very intuitive, add field. When I click on it, a new editable field appears at the end of my existing form. I define column name. It's a technical name how the manual inputs will be stored. Label. That's what the users will see. And that's it. It's ready to be used. If you want to change its position, use different formats of field validation and things like that, everything can be done via the properties panel. So it's that easy. If I say that these quarterly planned targets are what I want to approve as a manager, I can use this simple checkbox, say approved, use another button that's called confirm approval. And as you can see, this button saves the data and triggers the reload of the application. So both options are available based on the use case, based on what you want your users to allow to do. And when I approve target for a specific country, it's not available for changes anymore. So this is a simple approval process directly in Qlik where all the data is. What you see in this second form is much more similar to real-life planning and budgeting because it's data for different countries and products for the whole year. Here it's on a monthly basis, but as I mentioned, it's up to you how you define the structure. Again, I can make any changes here, save the data. My changes is right now available to all people working with the data. Frequently asked question, can data be copied from Excel file? Well, I recommend not to use Excel files, but in case you do, yes, it can be done. So as you can see, here is some data I have prepared. I can copy the whole area in my file and paste it here. All values that have been modified and are not yet saved have this visual indicator, so I see which particular cells have been updated. And if this is what I want to save, again, I just hit the save button.
And Maria, you know when that's really useful is when you've actually been doing your planning in Excel for some time and you've got spreadsheets, you've got options. You can either copy and paste them into here, or of course you can load them into the data model, right? So there is a nice way to make that transition from what you've been doing in the past to doing it in Infinity. We've made it very easy for everyone.
Yeah, very true. Glad you mentioned transition because another thing important to say when it comes to actionable Qlik applications is that quite many people fear of the impact of their actions, right? If it's just read only, you are sure you won't delete anything or, I don't know, crash it somehow. So a great way how you can encourage them to work with the application is to provide a manual, provide a guidance. And in Infinity Forms, you can define your own custom buttons. As you can see here, I created info button that explains what you should do with this specific form. Obviously, the text can be longer, there can be screenshots, it can also contain video. So you really can help guide your users so they will use the application and they won't fear of their actions. Some of you may notice that something is happening with this form as I'm talking. And what is happening is that these rows are being locked. And Martin Kostic is working with the very same data at the same time as I'm talking. And that's what we call real-time collaboration. So when multiple users are working and updating the same data, they don't get any issues because the rows are locked. So there's it's how we prevent from different. How could you help me, Simon? I can't.
Sure.
find the right words.
What we're doing here is trying to prevent multiple users from entering data into the same record and then causing data conflict in the data storage behind.
Oh gosh, thank you very much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And it's almost as if you asked Martin to do that before the demo, eh? And I know he didn't, but there you go. It's almost like it was planned.
Oh, and now he saved his manual inputs. I didn't refresh anything. It's all done automatically in real life. And I can also see the number of people who are working with the very same data. Don't worry if it's more than 5, there is just number. There won't be 100 icons. And when I hover my mouse over it, I see who specifically works with the same data. So that's another aspect of the real-time collaboration. Okay, so that was the budgeting in a straight table. Let me very quickly, I promise, go to the other form before I show you the new planning extension. But it's important to mention for everyone who is interested in planning use cases that with Infinity Forms, you can also use approach where you pre-fill data. Okay, I can do that for all the products. So I pre-filled all the data except for some cells, and those cells were manually updated. So I can say, okay, I really want to empty these data, save it. Again, data is saved, KPI bar chart refreshed, no reload of the application. When I say that I want to use last year data as a base for my budgeting, it's done in a few clicks. And the same way as it was here before, I can click on this icon and update pre-calculated, pre-filled data by my manual changes. Because in the end, people are those who have the whole context, who knows what they can expect. Also, if what you need to do is to adjust data by any coefficient, it can be done very nicely by using custom buttons. And when I save the data, voila, here is my plan. That was quick, right? So let's go to the pivot table. I think no one says this word before since we started the webinar, but editable pivot table is what Infinity Forms planning is. It describes it, I think, really nice, because pivot table in Qlik is exactly what you use if you want to have hierarchy automatically defined. That's how Infinity Forms planning works. And obviously, if you edit any data in your pivot table, you would expect for associated cells to be updated as well. And that's exactly what forms planning does. So as you see, I can update data in my cells, even in my total totals. And based on the parameters, based on the calculation methods I have defined in the properties panel, a specific distribution method is applied. In this case,
so Maria, what you're saying is that when you enter the numbers, either at the bottom level of the hierarchy or at a midpoint in the hierarchy, or even at the very top end of the hierarchy, it will either distribute the values down or aggregate them up. Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah. If you want empty cells to be ignored, it's what you can customize. If you want empty cells to be filled in with some data, it's what you can customize. Different methods can be, okay, let me save the data and go to the properties panel. So you believe me how easy it is. So in the properties panel, you can easily choose from available aggregation methods. So this is how totals are calculated automatically. And distribution methods. So this is what happens when I update total, and the linked cells are automatically updated. So flat is if you want to use the very same value for all the cells. Proportional is if you want to respect current ratios and ignore empty cells. And weighted is exactly what will be most often used in the real life, because that's what you will use when you want to respect, for example, last year revenues. So you want to plan with all the ratios and all the logic that was in your last year revenues data. So you can just change the method, and that's it.
Oh, may I have a question?
Of course.
And we did not rehearse this, so so if I wanted to give this maybe some of these features to the user who doesn't have access to properties panel, let's say I'd like to give them the possibility to change the distribution method from proportional to last year values or so. Can I do it through with action buttons, perhaps somehow?
Obviously, we didn't rehearse this. In this first version, it's not yet available, but it's something that's quite clear how important it is. So it's on our roadmap.
Cool.
So there will be, even the custom action button supported, as well as some option for end user to switch between different methods, probably even without the need for developer to define a custom action button and things like that. So this is the first version, and we have a great roadmap for it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And I think it was something that our customers and partners have really pushed hard for us to develop, isn't it? This has been extremely popular and very much in demand.
Yeah. That's the reason why we developed it.
Yeah.
As Martin explained in the beginning, so we don't need to go through that now. Okay. I think that because of the time, we won't go to the other sheets, but I highly encourage you guys, everyone who is watching, to go to demo.myinfinity.com and explore the application by yourself. See how it's done, try it, play with it, and enjoy it.
And I would maybe add a few words here, because really from the perspective of the business value that the customer is getting with this new planning extension, we're actually bringing planning processes to people, right? So you don't need any super advanced Qlik development skills. So in fact, this is basically drag and drop and clicking, as you've seen. So no scripting, right? With using this table, and that means you can start creating basically any planning use cases with the capabilities that are already developed, right? So basically you're saving loads of time and money on things that can be automated, and obviously this time and money can be used for more advanced tasks, adding more value, because planning is obviously usually a very complex process, so it does require preparation and thinking about the workflow and so on.
Excellent. Maria, thank you. That was a fantastic demo. Very impressive. And I think it's a superb addition to the set of forms that we have. I mean, seriously, when I start presenting this to customers, and I now have to say, right, hang tight, guys, because we've got 5 forms to take you through. There are 5 different types of Infinity form. And when you start combining them together and you add those action buttons, the magic happens. And I'm not exaggerating. It's really, really powerful, guys. If you want to know more, just contact us. We'll walk you through what you can do. It's very, very clever. We haven't even shown the document approval app, which happens to be my favorite. And that's on one sheet. That's really, really clever as well.
Even
So
3 other forms are left, but yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And
We've
the
only
question of
covered, we've
time,
only covered 2.
we can't show everything in a few minutes.
Exactly. All right, Maria, thank you very much. Now, at this point,
Thank
what we're
you.
going to do is we're going to play a video to you, which is actually produced by Maria's husband, Mr. Radovan Areski, and it talks you through a planning use case that we developed with one of our customers. So at this point, I'm going to press play, and then we'll come back to you in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm really glad to present this success story we have with Dawn Meets, because I participated on a project and yeah, it was quite a challenge. So they were doing the retail forecasting in Excel, and it wasn't optimal. Mostly they wanted the accuracy, the forecasting accuracy, to become a real number that people will regularly monitor, and it will make a real impact into their efficiency, mostly in production and logistics. So what we did, we created a solution. It's actually multiple applications which are changed, and they get most of the data from the ERP system, which is like past sales and master data about items and customers. They add some web data like weather and holidays, and of course we reuse the Active Directory and user attributes for section access. This data is first loaded into what is called a projection application, which calculates the projection of how the forecast should look like. It uses Python machine learning libraries to create a prediction, and then decides whether there is enough data, and if data is of good enough quality to be used for the prediction, or whether we do just a more simple algorithm for projecting the forecast. This forecast is then uploaded into SQL database, which is used by budgeting and forecasting applications, where all data is associated, and they have Infinity Forms write-back extension included into the application, which allows them to review the pre-calculated forecast and either accept what the machine suggests or adjust, of course, because planners might have more information than what goes into the algorithm. Everything is stored in SQL Server, the plans, the promo checkboxes, workflow checks, and additional master data that was necessary to include about items and bill of materials. And of course, all the change logs, so we can review the activity in the planning process. There is also an online report which is automatically available with server-side extension, so they don't have to reload the application every time they want to review what the final numbers will look like. Then after finishing the forecasting, it's a weekly ongoing process. all data is uploaded into Outlook application, where it consolidated with the history and multiple versions of the forecast, because we create snapshots of the weekly forecasting, so that with these versions we can also calculate the accuracy statistics and show how whether the forecast was actually how close it was to the reality. It was also important that thanks to having the bill of material data as well in the system, we can then recalculate the sales forecast and create a production plan out of it, which is then fed into a production planning process. So it nicely links together these two domains. How it actually looks like in the app. So we have a demo here. Yes, the main thing is to show the outlook, how will it look like, let's say, what the end of year statistics will be with regards to sales amount or volume, and how we get to these numbers of forecast. As I said, it's pre-calculated and they can adjust it. So we have a forms table which is dynamic, so we can select only some customers, for example, and adjust the values, right? So values can be adjusted. Then they are stored into a database. Everything is tracked with changelog, and not only they can adjust the values, but they can also see also what the projection looked like and what was the real adjustment of the value. These are also promo checkboxes in order to increase the precision of the forecasting. What they have also are some additional details about the past sales to help them think whether the projection is relevant and if they should adjust it. And there are other ways of adjusting the forecast. For example, they can switch to this other option where I can say, okay, I just want to increase this line by 10%, yeah, and all the values will be increased, or put to all equal to 10,000, let's say. So there are multiple ways of adjusting the values in forms, which they utilize. As I said, this is the main part. They create the forecast. They can also create the forecast for already a next year. So it's like a 1 year rolling forecast into the future. And when they have the numbers, they are recalculated through a bill of material, and at the end, this is the production forecast that is calculated out of the sales forecast, because the production needs the values not on the final products, but on raw materials that come into the products. So that's what they see here, which raw materials they will need, and also a maturation, which means that they need to start producing some products some weeks before they can actually ship them to customers. And that goes also into the calculation of the production plan. So this is yeah. Then they have other standard reports where they can review the numbers, and very importantly, they can also check the accuracy. So how the accuracy is achieved, I have a few screenshots which I can share. This is one of the backend applications where the algorithm decides whether a more simple projection will be used to calculate pre-calculate the forecast, or whether the Python algorithm can be used because we have enough quality data for machine learning prediction. This is one of the accuracy dashboards where they monitor per customer and product line how the accuracy for that particular week looks like. Yeah, they can calculate the accuracy 1 week out, which means like how did we predict this week's sales 2 weeks ago, or even more to the future. Then, of course, they can break it down to particular products and evaluate not only the accuracy of that final forecast, but also accuracy of the machine forecast, and then compare whether the machine is actually more or less accurate than than the numbers that people adjusted. So they know whether those adjustments and that additional value and knowledge from planners is relevant and makes the forecast more accurate. Yeah, and then they can also review all the history of all the versions and see whether in time they are increasing their accuracy, or maybe there are some product lines where they are not that accurate as they would like to be. That's all from me regarding the success story, and yeah, it was really fun to work on, and we're really glad to see the results, which are in increased accuracy that really helps them to drive efficiency in the business.
Fantastic. That was a brilliant video by Radovan. Thank you, Radovan, for that. We're very grateful for that content. Much appreciated. All right. So we have actually had some questions from customers and partners that we can go through very quickly now. So first of all, Maria, a question for you. Does this new technology run, and actually does our old technology run on Qlik Cloud as well as on-prem?
Yes, absolutely. Even the latest one is already available for both environments, on-prem as well as SaaS. And actually, some customers are interested in the other setup where they can access Infinity Forms via Qlik Cloud, but save data on their own internal server. And that's also supported. It's called hybrid setup. So
yeah,
anything you can imagine is already supported.
Excellent. So just to summarize, you're saying that people can deploy on their own infrastructure, whether that's on-prem or on some kind of their own cloud infrastructure. They can deploy on Qlik Cloud itself, or they can do a hybrid combination of both.
Exactly.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Okay, excellent. And then the second question, Martin, this one's for you, is what should our customers and partners do if they're interested in this technology? What should they do?
Okay, thank you for the question. So I would start with booking a demo. Just go to our webpage, and there's a nice call to action button. Click it, and we'll definitely set up something with you and for you, and we'll make sure that you actually get not just overview of the products, but get answers to your questions and really get a professional guidance in your use cases, right? Also try to understand where you're going and how we can actually help you really achieve these use cases. So we won't let you down, definitely. The second thing you can do is obviously download the trial license. So that is also available, and you can download it and play with it. And the third thing I would say, last but not least, is if you're working with a Qlik partner, then please do talk to your Qlik partner and ask them to contact us. We're happy to work with your Qlik partner and make sure that you get the support that you need.
Perfect. Maria, Martin, Imogen, thank you very much. It's been a great event. Thank you for doing this. And to everyone that's watching, we're sorry this didn't happen live yesterday. We were, as we said, we were there, we were ready to go. Martin said something that just reminded me. Check out our new website. It is amazing. There's been a lot of work gone into our website, and I think it's a big improvement on the previous one. Well done to everybody involved. It's a great effort, and I think it's much easier to use, and it really showcases our products really well. And Maria, you did an incredible job on the Infinity Universe revamp, because it looks fantastic and it works like a dream. So thank you very much. To the audience, to the customers, partners watching, thank you very much for watching. We're going to do another one of these in a few months. Stay tuned and look out for all of the great stuff coming from Infinity. See you soon. Give everyone a big wave, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Take
you.
Next
care.
time.
Bye-bye. Bye.